Tom, so nice to kind of grind out a win maybe. Famous for our goals so far this season, but a 1-0 win, does that make you any happier, or is it less happy because you haven't scored as many goals?
Makes me as happy. At the end of the day, it's all about the result and getting the 3 points. I think what happened in that game was we saw all the elements required to win a football match in terms of, I thought we played some really good attacking football in the first half, where I felt it was a lot more even the game, although I thought we did look more of a goal threat. And we got ourselves in front, and then there was a big incident, in my opinion, that really sort of changed the tempo, changed the momentum of the game, where, you know, for all intents and purposes, I was flabbergasted that there wasn't more repercussions for the incident, the challenge on our goalkeeper, and then what followed. At the end of the day, we've suffered greatly this season with what I see is no more or no less than them sort of challenges. So the rub of the green might have went with us slightly with the deflection for the goal, but you've got to, you know, if you don't buy a ticket, you won't win the lottery. So, you know, we've earned the right to get ahead, and we've put them under a lot of pressure, but we just didn't get either the last pass or the second to last pass in the box right. And their lads put their bodies in front of the ball the first half to keep it only at 1. And I thought, in fairness to Simon and Macca, and that they put it on us second half. But then you've got to look at the reasons that they didn't score. Everybody will say, well, your goalkeeper, but I look at where the shots were coming from, and I wouldn't expect Marcus to be beaten from there. And the young defenders, I thought, put their bodies on the line, put their head on the ball, put themselves in front of the ball, you know, to stop it. Not just the back lads, everybody, but them deserve a little bit of credit, because I think the week before it was possibly labelled at them that they didn't defend well enough. So, yeah, really pleasing. A 1-0 result, wherever it is always very pleasing, because you've ultimately done what you needed to do. You've scored a goal and you haven't conceded one. Yeah.
Well, as you said there, the young lads at the back there, how important is a clean sheet to boost their confidence?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I want to have clean sheets all the time, of course I do, but ultimately we have a way of playing it at this moment in time. The group of players we feel we're very much on the front foot, and we're going to create opportunities, we're going to force pressure, we're going to win penalties, we're going to ask questions at the front end of the pitch, but you still have to, you know, lock the back door up. And for us to be able to do that against a side who, look, they've had a really solid start, they've hardly conceded any goals. For us to score 1 was very good, and the fact that we kept them out, you know, gets us no more points than when we won 5-1 at Solihull or 4-0 at home to Morecambe. But it's that feeling of a little tick off. You know, we've won away from home, we've drawn away from home, we've had a 1-0 win. There are all these little things at the beginning of the season you want to be able to, as a manager and as a staff, you want to turn around and go, well, what's the next thing we've got to do? Actually, you've got to repeat it.
And, well, now looking ahead to tomorrow night's fixture, it's been a bit of a strange time over the last week or so for Yeovil, obviously with their managerial changes, but now we know that Richard Dryden's going to be in charge. A very familiar face on the opposite dugout for you.
Yeah, I mean, well, you don't have to ask too many people about how the way we're going to play, because he's been here for the last 2 years. But look, it's none of my business what's gone on behind the scenes there. What I do know, they've got a solid bloke, they've got a great guy, an excellent coach, and I think it's been a little bit remiss of some people to suggest he's a second option or he's fallen into the job. At the end of the day, he's got more experience than most people in this division at either assistant, coaching, and sometimes managing. But it's just because he hasn't been a manager. But then, you know, you've got to give him the opportunity one time. So after tomorrow night, I will genuinely wish Richard and Yeovil all the very best for the rest of the season until we bump into them again after the turn of the year up at Hughes Park. But, you know, listen, he's a safe pair of hands, in my opinion. He's a solid guy. Well, and he had success with me. He's had success before he joined me, but he helped me to one of the best days of my life in football.
Is it a worry that he's going to know how to play? Is that kind of one of the things we have to worry about?
These days you can't really hide it anyway, because the footage is available. You put it out anyway, so everybody knows how we play. But he probably knows individuals a little bit more than other managers might do, because he's got relationships with the lads that were here, or the lads that are here, sorry. But then, you know, at the end of the day, me and him on the pitch at the end of at the start of the game, sorry, I'm sure we'll shake hands and we'll have a cup of tea or whatever afterwards. But ultimately, I'm I've got no appetite to talk to him before then.
I guess equally on the other foot, you know what he should do
Yeah.
really well. You both
Well, I know
got
what
him,
he's
didn't
good.
you?
I know what he's good at. I know his traits, and then like I said, he's a football man. He's been in football a long time. He's played at the highest level, and he's been around this division and the one above all his career as a coach and as an assistant manager. So it seems quite a logical thing to me that for whatever reason it hasn't happened with Danny, who I hope's fine and well himself, because I heard it was a personal issue. I myself only too well, things can happen away from football that you have to take care of sometimes. And if that's the case, I genuinely wish Danny all the very best in whatever he's going to do. But like I said, as much as I love Richard to death, he's a great lad. I class him as a very good friend. I won't be talking to him before the game.
And focusing back on ourselves, it's another one of those Wednesday games where perhaps for this one we've had a bit more time on the training ground. Obviously that means that less time ahead of Saturday's game, but how's it been this week?
Yeah, it's been really bright, and it's another period of 4 games in under 10 days. This is the second of the 4. Like you said, it's an extra day rest since Saturday, but it's a very, very quick turnaround for us and for Yeovil. After the game on Wednesday night, it's a recovery day or a rest day on Thursday, and then we'll be training and travelling up to Halifax on the Friday. So hit the road again. That'll be the 5th or 6th away trek that we've had this season already. So we're knocking them off, which is good. After Christmas, there's not so many long overnighters or anything like that. So look, we can look at the pros and cons of all of it, but ultimately we've got to play 23 teams twice. So we'll get on with that. And like I said, the group is getting a little stronger because we've got 1 or 2 back, and 1 or 2 who've been making cameo appearances from the bench and now be thought of to possibly start games, whether it's tomorrow night or Saturday or next Tuesday. But it's great for me to see the people like Ryan Jones, James Henry, Cameron come back in, James Claridge come back in, and there's a couple on the horizon that I'm hopeful that might be around it too.